Okay, the first step is to put the rubber directly onto the mat. I've peeled off the backing and then I just press it down really, really well to a very clean and sticky mat. Then I'm going to come over to the Silhouette SD and I put the mat underneath the rollers. I line it up along the left-hand side and then I press the enter button and it will load the mat automatically into the machine. Then I come over to my design and I have a simple star here on the screen, and the only thing I haven't quite mastered yet in this software is to know exactly where it's going to cut. Originally I had my image over too far to the left. I was just doing some test circles and it started cutting off the mat, so I still need to master that. But anyway, select your image. I actually don't even have to select the image. You can just click on Cut Craft and it sends the image to the screen. Now then, this was the little trick that you have to watch. You'll see the setting up here, which is, it says pressure. I had to bring this all the way down to 1 and then bring it all the way back up again, or it won't take this full pressure setting. So make sure you do that. I had no idea if that worked with speed or not, but I did the same thing with speed. For passes, I put in 2 passes, and then for knife offset, I brought it up to 50. Now, I don't know if this is correct or not. I just made it larger just from my own experience in cutting other rubbers with other machines, is that you need a higher knife offset when you're cutting the rhinestone rubber. So again, I'm going to use 2 passes and I'm going to use the knife offset. And for the media type, I had selected the heaviest cardstock because again, it's a very thick material that's somewhat difficult to cut. Then I just come over and I click on Cut Project, and when you do that, the first time you do that, it doesn't always start cutting. Let's see if it's going to. Okay, it's cutting this time, of course, but before when I was testing it, it wouldn't cut the first time and you'd have to just repeat it again, so just keep that in mind. Okay, at this point I'm going to turn off the video and resume at the end of the cut. Okay, the cut is completed, and so now then I press the Enter key and that will unload the mat from the machine. Okay, now I'm going to take it into the kitchen where I'm going to weed it. The best way I found for weeding this is to use actually my large Klic-N-Kut mat that's nice and sticky. I may be able to press it down here and load it, but since this is my only Silhouette mat, I don't want to really use that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel this rubber up off of the mat. And so I'm going to put the camera down just while I do that. Okay, now then, I'm going to come over and I'm going to press just where the image is. I'm going to press it down onto my mat and I'm going to brayer it down really well. I have a brayer here that's really handy. I'm just going to press it really, really hard. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of like rip it up just really fast. And when I do that, you see that almost all of the circles stay behind. And so then I'm just going to repeat that again. I'm just going to bring it down again, press it really, really well. And then again, take it and then just rip it up. And when you rip it up, each time you rip it, more and more of the little circles will stay behind. And then once you get it down to maybe, just a few circles, you really don't have to do it again. Now, you be careful, you can rip your pattern, but that's okay because the circles, once you press this down to your backing sheet, the fact that you may have torn just a little bit of holes here is not going to affect how the stones fall into it, okay? So then I'm just going to press this down one more time. And then press it down really, really well. Again, use the brayer if you want to make sure you get plenty of good even pressure, and then just rip it up. And I believe I got the rest of them. We can look at my pattern, my star pattern here, and then just have a look and see what's remaining in terms of circles that I need to clean. And it looks like I got them all, okay? So then the next thing I want to do is just cut around this, and then I'm going to put it on some stencil board. Okay, now I've got my pattern, I've cut around it, and now then I'm going to put it on the back of this particular pattern. I'm just going to drop it right here. Or maybe I'll put it over the side in case I have room for another one later on. Put it like right here. Just press it down really well. Okay. Then I'm going to put it into my rhinestone tray. By the way, this is a tray from, it's by Stampin' Up. I bought it from a friend who no longer wanted it, and that's the nice thing about when you're just a hobbyist, is that you can come across some really great little tools and stuff to use. And this tray is just perfect for doing rhinestones because it's nice and big, and my patterns will fit into it. Then I'm just going to dump some of those stones on top of it. Now then, the key is this Sureline brush. The Sureline brush can be bought at any place they sell painting supplies, such as Lowe's, Home Depot, even Walmart sells them. And this is key to getting these stones easily into the holes. You just dump your rhinestones on top of your pattern, and then as you start brushing your pattern, all of the little rhinestones will begin to fill in the holes. Now, any that are upside down, the little bristles on this brush will actually knock them out. So all you have to do is just be patient and keep brushing, and before you know it, you have all the little holes in your pattern correctly filled. If you do have any that are upside down, let's say you have one or two, then go ahead and you can do those by hand. You can flip them out, with a toothpick or use some tweezers or something. But you really shouldn't have to do more than just a few. And so as you see, I've got my pattern all completed, and the next step would just be to cut off some of the rhinestone transfer tape like this. Just cut off a piece, press it down and lift it. And that's how you end up with having your design ready to press to your shirt.